Hey there, everyone. Welcome to another evening stream. Hopefully, we'll get a functional compass switch light assembly tonight. Been doing a fair bit of work today, and yesterday, and the day before. Just trying to get the worst of the ugly stuff out of the way. Haven't had a chance to clean my bench yet, so we'll just quickly do that while everybody turns up. Hopefully, audio's working today. It seems like the last couple of days it doesn't want to work by default. The Neo. Yeah, that's seen better days. Throw it in the bin. Let's open up this window a little bit, get some cooler air. Hey Noel, Electro. Yeah, good to know the audio's okay. Yeah, I don't know why, but just the last couple of days, OBS has been having grief. Like even just tonight, getting the face cam, the USB face cam going, was not happy about it. Whenever I use USB webcams, they seem to give grief. So, I mean, I do have a proper 4K, camera for this through HDMI, but I haven't got things rigged up physically. There's not enough room for it at the moment, so that's why it's not being used. Let's see what else have I got. I found these to be really good for getting 3D prints off the bed, particularly with like that PET G. It does not want to come off the heat bed, but they do a pretty good job getting it off. Cleaning, cleaning, cleaning. Hey, Mark Mellors, welcome. Oh, there's a spider on my... Don't touch the IPA, man. Don't, you'll die. You literally will probably die. There you are. Got him on a piece of paper. Just throw that on the floor. He'll find his own way. He, she, whatever it is. That was a pretty small spider. I've seen those ones catch ants. Oh, the little black ants that you often get in the kitchen, things like that. Yeah, they seem to catch those ones. It's kind of interesting watching them catch them because they do something to the ant and then they run around the ant, sort of pinning it down with a web. It's kind of crazy. David Attenborough through and through. Okay, get rid of that. John Culver. Alright, so the state we're at the moment is I did get the firmware of this sorted out. I changed things slightly with the firmware. Before I was doing a course degree representation, 0, 10, 20, 30, yeah, things like that. But then I found it was actually better overall for me to do it into eighths, so every 11 and a quarter degrees. So each quadrant ends up with eight, what do you call it, 8 arcs or 8 slices, 8 segments, whatever you want to call it, within it. And the reason why that is handy is because the way that I determine whether the compass is in an on or off position is by having a array of bits, and then each bit represents one segment. And if you have 4/8, that represents a 32-bit block, and of course you can represent that using an unsigned 32-bit int. So that made it very easy that with one 32-bit int I can represent the entire circle and just yeah, it was really easy. And you've got to do tricks like that when it comes to small microcontrollers, as this is, and it does the job. And also the button for locking where your on-off position is, that works too. So tonight what I have to do is adjust my software that I use on this machine, because there's going to be one extra byte of data that this thing's going to send compared to the existing Compass module. And that extra byte of data, so this is my existing one, there's a reason for it being elevated like that. We'll see if we have to do it with this one as well. The extra byte, which could actually have been a bit, and I could have packed it in somewhere else, but I didn't bother at this point, is just to indicate to the PC whether this unit has decided that it's on or off with the light. And then from that I can go along and do whatever I've got to do. So, hey there Pedro. Hey Gear Anderson and Miles. Right, the next thing I had to do was come up with a mounting system that goes over the microscope assembly, the boom. I went through, it took me to the 4th revision to get the one that I wanted. I'm not sure if I can show it clearly or not. So maximum wide. It's a bit of a mess. It doesn't look like a candle with the tilt. Okay. Yeah, it's a big mess. Anyway, so this here slips over that. And as you can see, it's not going to go anywhere. And then that will bolt onto there. And it will just move around like that. And when I say bolt, I mean hot glue. Let's not pretend that I'm some kind of professional. It's definitely going to be hot glued. In fact, I might get that done now. Turn on the gun. Hey Joe, yeah, I've had it for a couple of weeks now. We went through it with the first stream. Pardon me. We went through it with one of the first streams where it was we were deciding which color to pick, whether it be pink, blue, or grey. We settled with grey. The other colors did have some pop to them, but then they have a tendency of stealing the attention away from whatever was being worked on. What, the core of the cables is effective 24 what? What's this? Oh, you got a... Oh, right, one of the heat blocks. Right, you got one of these, right. First, there is a lacquer under the ground connection. Input cables are fake 20 and they're actually 24 gauge. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me one bit, to be honest. It really would not surprise me. I'll open it up on another stream maybe and have a look. It's a bit like with the... Oh, hello, big spider. Yeah. With this thing, whenever you get one of these, you have to take this assembly out and check the cables, because it's an absolute disaster behind there. Really bad. Bad to the point where it will probably trip your, what do you call it? It'll probably trip your safety breakers in the house if you have any. At some point anyway. Hey, Minitime. I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to make these for sale or not. I mean, the first thing for me is always to improve my working space and make things easier for me. And if I feel like it's doable in terms of selling it, or it's doable in terms of, I'm gonna put it, yeah, let's just say, if I think it's doable, then I will consider selling them. It might take a year or two. I mean, it took me long enough to get these things out. I've got screw holes here, but I'm hot gluing. Just wait for this thing to heat up. The final form might not be too different to this. Actually, maybe I shouldn't heat this up, glue it on yet. Maybe I should. I'm just trying to think. I am going to have to end up with a longer wire than this. I can jam it in there, I think. Yeah, I can jam that in and still have access to what I need. Okay. The only trouble is with the double-sided tape is it doesn't always hold onto this so well. I'm fine with it. This is going to be a... Yeah, I'm not worried about getting it off later. Not as much as what maybe you think I will. I'm not going to put that much hot glue. Ah, you lousy little... Did you go... You died on me. You died on me. Damn it. Out of charge. Well, that's the downside of using the battery-powered one. So close. That's on charge. We'll have to... I swear moles did that intentionally. The weather is still warmer than I like. Cats are still annoying and numerous. But loved, nonetheless. It's the downside of them. They're just so damn cute. Alright, that fits fine. I don't know what this is. Shouldn't do anything because it's not active. Okay, so this is the current one, and as you can see, I snake it through here. Kind of wondering if I can't just continue to do this. Oh, now you're on. Oh, that's right, because I manually switched it on. Let's see, where do you come in? Okay. Plug pack from the wall. So this is how things are done currently. Any advancement on the Kitty Hotel? Not enough. Not enough. I just haven't really been able to get myself into the mindset to go out there and do that work. I've got to, but I just can't. Don't. Right, so this is the one of the bricks I'm using, 24 1 amp. This here is just a simple USB controlled relay, and it uses a little program in Linux called PowerSwitch. This has been around for absolutely donkey's years. You can tell because it uses an AT-Tiny 2313, which is really ancient, but they're dependable. Anyway, so what currently happens is that the existing the existing compass switch, when it gets to a certain point, then the program, the client I have on the computer, decides, okay, you're in the on zone now, and then it sends a message to this to switch on. So the whole concept of this new device is to bring these things together. So what I'm trying to decide is, well, the problem we're facing, I shouldn't really say problem, but this cable either have to, let's see, yeah, you can't really see it, but basically when it comes out of here, it's got a DC jack, and then it comes out fly leads there. I can either run a cable gantry from the center of the microscope boom over to here and down, or I can just simply have it fly back out and then come in again via this. So I'm kind of tempted to make it come in again via this umbilical cable. Just seems cleaner. Because the trouble is, if you run it on a gantry along here, you're probably going to get snagged. That's my guess anyway. Just feels like it's a likely snag hazard, unless I can find one of those chain snake link things for such small cable. The sort of things you see on CNC machines and things like that for keeping cables tidy. So yeah, I might go for the evil clip solution. That's really disgusting for me to do that, but I might do it. Disconnect that. They are very handy, these modules. So what I'm probably best to do here is stitch this back together, heat shrink it, or maybe yes, stick it back together, Paul, stick it back together. Otherwise I'm going to end up with a flippin' another power brick running around the house that does not have a DC jack on it. Hey there, PR. Okay. Okay, what a mess. I hate it when you get to this phase where you've torn everything apart and you start wondering, was this actually the best course of action for me? Should I have not done this? How much work is it going to take me to get everything back to the point where I was before I started with this so-called improvement? Okay. Right, so I need to make... Unbelievable. I knew I shouldn't have cut that cord short. For this, I knew I should have kept it long. Because I kind of need it long. Now, where is it? Looking for my big box of wire that you guys were looking at the other night. Somehow, magically, like so many things in this room, it just vanishes. Box of wire? Never heard of it. I think you're dreaming, Paul. We never had a box of wire. So then I got to step up, walk away, look back at my office, and wonder where the hell it's gone. It's just absolutely hilarious that even in a small office like this, I can manage to misplace. Ah, there it is. Hey, B-Blood, Tony, Gecko stole it. Probably true. Bit of heat shrink. Probably too much. Never. Yeah. Clamps. It's intentionally a Hershey Kiss type connection. It's pretty good. Even though it's myself saying that. Still pretty good. See Jessa from iPad Rehab's last video. Guy stuck down an iPhone. What? Stuck down an iPhone 13 back glass by folding over some Captain tape. Oh, really? Oh, right. So they got a replacement done, and the way they stuck it down was using Captain tape? That's hilarious. Instead of glue. How do people get away with that shit? I mean, really, it's like, how do you run a business and think, yeah, you know what, this is the option I'm going to take. I'm going to just stick screen backs on with Captain tape. Sure. I mean, was there a backstory behind that? Like maybe it was meant to be a temporary thing while he worked something else out, or what? That's very odd. Okay, so the first step here is that will be going into there, and then we have to take this horrible... Why is it so dark around here? We're going to have to redo this, which is going to suck because I crimped that sucker down too. I might have to get the other one. Man. Is there not a brick around here, like a stupid 9-volt brick or something that I can just steal? Come on, man. I am so sick of not having appropriate cables. I could have sworn I had one around like a meter length or something like that. A box of different lengths of wire. Nothing there. We'll try the big box. I don't recall seeing a DC jack in here. Yeah, there really isn't. Don't mind me while I'm fishing around, just trying to desperately avoid having to make up a cable. I mean, obviously it's going to take me more time right now to avoid doing what I'm probably going to have to do. But surely you can appreciate the desire to not have to do it. It's just one of those things that you see the cables floating around in your workshop, and you're, oh yeah, see that? Not going to throw that out. I'll use that one day. Oh yeah, see that? I'll use that one day. And then the day comes, and you're like, where is that? Or did I use it on something else? Oh, JDT. Oh, jeez. He's always stealing my thunder. I even started early to avoid him. I was like, oh, well, JDT usually streams at around about 10 something. And he didn't stream yesterday. At least not that I know of. He's probably going to claim that he's been streaming in this position for a while, so therefore it's his slot. It's like, I was here before you, man. It's just like the bad old days of Rossman versus Tim Herman versus SDS versus myself. Nothing good in there either. Well, why do I have an exotic 242 in here? Who are you for? You, okay, that's a micro alarm. That was loud. I feel the dark side calling me. I'm feeling it telling me to give in to my impatience. Give in to my urges for gratification now. I don't even have any good 2-core figure 8 wire to use for this. What are you? Hawaii? What? No. What's this? I suggest using an inline socket on the compass board and plug extension on the ring light. Well, I'm not sure what you mean by using an inline socket. I'm going to keep building it the way I am going to build it, and then maybe if it becomes obvious, I'll switch. Because I'm not sure. I can find a URL or something like that of what you're trying to describe. There's probably reasons why I've done what I've done the way I've done. Except for the part where I can't find my cable. Yeah, that's great. Going to the dark side. 12 volts, 2 amp. I mean, that just fits all too smoothly. And where the hell did this come from? 12 volt, 2 amp. It's like it's perfect for what I need in terms of physical. Yep. And the moment I cut this cable, you know that I'm going to go, oh no, it's actually meant for that. You just know it's going to happen that way. And I know it's going to happen that way. I'm just going to go into my other room. I got to sort micro out as well, so I'll be right back. It does need 24 volt. I'm just stealing the cable from it. That's the difference. It would look more uniform. Oh, you mean like streamline, inline? Yeah, there are problems with that. Micro, Mo, get your names mixed up. Jeez. What is it, buddy? Where's your brother? Mo. Hmm? Hey. Yeah? Yeah, you don't want this. This is an injection. You just think you want it. Yeah, eat biscuits. Damn it, I forgot the torch. That girl. I'll give you a shot. Yeah. Yeah. It's all good. There we go. There you go. Well done. Oh, good boy. Oh, can't find the cable, so I'm cutting it. There could well be a router one. I've had a few spare that have blown up here and there, so anyway. There's plenty of cable there. So I'm expecting my phone to go ping any second now and someone say, oh, I left my power brick over there, it's a Hawaii one, 12 volt, 2 amps. Have you seen it anywhere? And I'll be like, nope. Don't know what you're talking about. Never seen it. Don't even know what a power brick is. In fact, wrong number. I'm an idiot. I twisted him and I'm going to put a ferrule on him anyway. Good on you, mate. You're a legend. It'd be funny if I found it in here though. Oh, so that's where the cable is. Yeah. We laugh because otherwise you would cry. What do you guys want to be? You're either yellow or white, I think. I think orange might be a bit small. No, orange does the trick. Wood does it. Yep. And then does that fit in there? I think so. And you can crimp them or you can solder them. These ones will do both as far as I understand. And if they don't, too bad, I'm soldering them. Please check polarity. Well, I'll do that after I've soldered them up. Except they're orange, not red. Yeah, I'm sure most people, for the larger ones, well, actually, no, just all of them. A lot of people generally crimp these, but these are solderable ones. Certainly, crimping is sometimes quicker and easier. Okay, continuity mode. Usually, it's the non-stripe that's ground. Yep. So just for those who like to panic over things that they shouldn't have to panic over, we'll do this. Oh, NASA attempt to launch Boeing Starliner later this afternoon. Ooh, cool. Ooh, that'll be good. I was kind of waiting for Starship 4, but I'll watch the Starliner. Wait, is that going to be crewed or not crewed? Because I thought they were basically in the position where they had to launch it with crew. Alright, now, just to make you spew a little more, I just realised this is no good to me right now because this board is not routed to that terminal block. I have to solder them in. Oh, God help me. I should solder a terminal block onto the end of the... How feral am I going to get? What do you reckon? I don't want to cut those back off. Yeah, they're done. That's good. Don't want to mess with that. So, what do we say? Solder a terminal block onto the end of these wires. Oh, man. The reason why I can't use this one is because that's meant for a relay and we're kind of done away with a different... Yeah, let's go terminal block. It'll look a bit wonky, but yeah. I could use it. No, don't do that, Paul. I was going to say I could use a classic 240 volt mains terminal block type stuff, but we're going to use a slightly better solution, I think. I don't think I have any other better solutions. I am outside of my typical domain. Get the drill out. Ugh. What the frickin' hell? Bombs going off in here? They're too small. Just too small. We'll use the 5mm block that I've got. What are these ones? There. I've got some heat shrink that will fit over that. Bodgy Deluxe. All this just so I can get back to where I was already. It's really quite sad what we do to ourselves at times. Extraction. Do you like my fume extractor? I'll see if I've got some heat shrink for the individuals. It's kind of overkill for for all this, but well. Ah yeah, here we go. I think it's heat shrink. Can be hard to tell. Somewhat pointless, I should add. Why not solder terminal block on the board? Well, there's already a terminal block on the board, and there's no real room for it on the board. And remember, this is only going to be a temporary prototype because I'll just simply be making new boards. Probably I'll start redesigning the board tonight when I'm finished with the stream. And then next week, it'll all be moot point. Because next week I'll have the new boards and none of this bodginess. Yeah. None of this bodginess is going to matter. Shrieked. Now let's try not burn our fingers. Oh, that's so beautiful. Probably not a lot of point putting that on there. Okay, wrong kind of screwdriver for this, but whatever. Okay, locked and loaded. I guess we're going to go wide view for this, as much as I hate the wide view. Too much is revealed. Okay. So essentially what I'll be doing, I've got to kind of work out where my limit is and how much I can draw this up. guess I'll actually come up down through there. Yep, that's good. Is not impeding, and that is the most important thing. So we'll take this one, and that one. We'll start wrapping them up. I'm sure there are definitely easier ways of doing these wraps. I know you can get like a slide tool that does it very cleanly. Okay, now the microscope one, I want it to sort of exit out a little earlier. So like around about now. But the HDMI one carries on with the HDMI cable to the top. Okay. And they should naturally get very tangled with each other. Right, feed in power. Well, for feeding in power, we're just going to use the brick that we had before. And because the point where this compass assembly rests doesn't actually move anywhere, you know, it just sort of stays in one position and you pivot around it, then I don't really need to worry about routing or anything, because it just sort of moves back and forth a bit like that. Right, okay, next trick. Okay, just zoom back out because I'm an idiot and show what I'm about to do. So the whole concept here is you pick the in-out spot. So I'm going to say pick about here. Anything further than this, I want it to be on. Just disconnect the power. Press my finger on the button. Okay, and that's telling me it's done. And looks like I'm going to have to did I mess up my code again? I think I've messed up my code. Why are you switching on and off like crazy? You were working fine yesterday. What is your problemo? I'll try it again anyway. That glitched then. You gotta love when stuff works perfect and then doesn't. See where the problem is. For some reason it's not doing the see, it's off right now, but that's only because it's where I sort of set it. It's not doing the sweep. It's supposed to do the sweep. Okay, so I've done something in my code somewhere again. So I mean, it initializes properly. It seems to write it properly. Yeah, it's definitely having problems there. Alright, looks like we've got the next project on the way, and that is to debug the code. Fun. Magnets do affect it, as do just the presence of ferrous material. I mean, that could be the problem. Maybe the power flowing through the connector is enough to upset it, which is why on this one, you can see I've got on what looks like a silly little cap. So maybe I'll try see if that helps it. I can adjust the gain on the magnetic thing to try and make it a bit better at discriminating, but I haven't quite got to that point yet. I'll be able to just heat it up here. Slightly hot. Negative 4, so basically it's to make it so that the microscope light switches on and off according to when I swing it out or swing it back. And of course, most people are going to say, why don't you use a Hall sensor or a, what do you call it, a micro switch or something like that? And absolutely you can. But I went with compass sensor so that I didn't have to do any rigging up of magnets and Hall switches and such anywhere else. So it was just a choice I made. Some people might want to go the magnet or the Hall sensor route or whatever, micro switch. Entirely this choice. Come on, you're gonna give me some hot stuff. Working towards it. Needs a little bit longer. The other thing is that when it switches, it also does a scene switch for me. The scene switching is actually probably one of the most useful things I've had on that. Come on, give me a little more. No, not enough. Need some heat. Optical encoders, another. I mean, there's a million ways of doing these things. This is the way I chose. Yeah, I mean, you could have an optical interrupter, and, rig it up to the boom somewhere, and when it passes under it and blocks a view, whatever. Or you can have a, one of those infrared reflector pairs, like it's got the transmitter and the emitter in the one package for close-up sensing. So yeah, there's a lot of possibilities. Okay, I'm just going to try do the reset on this again. Oh, you little, whatever. Oh, it's working fine now. Yeah, it's definitely working okay now. It could have been picking up the current from the DC jack. So that's the problem I have to work with is, okay, there are some influences that can cause problems for me. Just shove some hot glue under there just to, that's it. So it pretty much is a case of no matter what solution you pick, you're going to have a set of issues you have to deal with. And once you accept that, certainly there's going to be different solutions can have maybe more severe things you have to resolve. So you try to pick one that's got ones that are within what you're willing to do. But at the end of the day, there is probably going to end up being a group of solutions of which all have a similar kind of set of limitations in terms of severity of, and you've just got to pick which ones you want to work through. Okay, alright, so the power-wise is fine now. Yep, so you can see that switched on, and it switches off. The nice thing is it's very quick now, whereas before it used to have to wait for the computer to process the angle and all that sort of stuff and go, oh, it's time to switch it off, and then command it to switch off. Whereas now it's, like, I'll go wide so you can see. And bring out the head as far as I can. So as you can see, it comes on and goes off very quickly compared to what it used to. Alright, next step is to actually adjust the software. See you, Blind Bodger. Good luck with your, you doing more cat trees today? I'm going to rename this to Microscope Switch. Oh, good. More happy cats. Okay, so the build works. I'm getting older, I need a bigger font. By the way, Bodger, if you want, you can put your link in for, if anyone's in the UK and wants some natural style cat scratch posts, much better quality than the dodgy old chipboard type things. Mr. Bodger makes them in the UK. So yeah, feel free to drop your link in there if you want. This is 18 font now. Alright. So the main difference between this and the old one is that this new build sends through an additional one character which indicates if we're on or off. Which means I can cut out a lot of this stuff here. Or I can actually just ignore it. Hardware summary, it's just running on an AT Tiny 212. So legitimately a very small device. I'm just trying to find the section where I do all this work. this code is a lot more complicated because it actually also does emission of keys to create the OBS switching. And that, funnily enough, is more drama than the rest of it. Okay, frame size. See, I should change that too. Oh, well, anytime you feel otherwise, bodger. Yeah. This is why you should always define your... You shouldn't have just like fixed numbers in there. You should really, at least do things like that. And then crap like this. Where the hell do I define flippin' D? Temperature. D. That's a really good description, Paul. Really good. What? Where the hell do I define D? Oh, man. Oh, okay. D is a pointer. Right. Okay. All good. And serial buffer is that. Okay. Alright. I was starting to get a bit worried there. I didn't know what I was doing. Still isn't very good way of programming it. That's very naughty of me. And that should be... Oh yeah, Miles. Constant process. You know that. Okay. Now, I'm going to make sure I'm... Yeah. Okay. So now I can plug in the switch. And see it's on USB TT2. But that it should also be... Ooh, yeah, actually... Oh yeah, I do call it compass 1, yep. Okay. Idiot. Oh great, it found it, but not how I was supposed to do it. Okay. And I haven't kept the I haven't kept the damn it's device there. Yeah, I haven't kept the help thing up to date either. Oh wait, that one's there. Hmm. Alright. Okay, so that's working. You can see here the last byte, the last thing there is a minus, and so that means it's off. Okay, so it still works just fine. Cool. So that part's working. Now I've got to go in here where I normally go through the painful process of working out whether it's in or out of, what do you call it? Here we go, scene switching section. Yeah, so instead of this here, hmm. I know, it's naughty. That might work. I say might because I can't be sure. Should go to positive. Yeah, okay, so you can see the end there, it goes to positive. And I believe I just saw it try to do the scene switch. Yep, there goes that scene switch. Alright, okay, that looks positive. Now we change this. And we don't need a shell command to turn the lights on anymore. Okay. God damn it. Alright, hopefully this should now switch me over to the microscope. And it looks like it has. And now it should be switching me back to overhead. It has. Alright, task accomplished. Some wire management required still, that's for sure. It's far from being perfect, I can tell you that right now. Hey Aussie Geek. What's that? Wondering where you got the microscope stand from. It came with the microscope, I'll be honest, and I do wish they actually sold them without these stands, the bases. The dual boom arm, yeah, I just got it when I bought it from Amscope. Yeah, cable ties, although I'll probably find something else. Oh, wow. This classic board. Look, I even had to have a crystal on it. Nowadays we don't need crystals for doing USB stuff. Microscope's, what do you call it? HDR is off the whack. Oh no, do not tell me I left my... Oh, thank God I didn't. The only trouble with wireless mouse and keyboard that I have is all too often I will leave the transmitter receiver unit inside a customer's computer port. And there's no way of reprogramming an existing one. You can't rebind it or anything like that. So once you've lost that, you just throw it out. That's what I need to add actually onto my systems. These here, they're 3.6 volt xenodiodes. They sort of act as protection, but funnily enough in this case they are being used to really crudely cut down the voltage of the data lines. But I do need to add some TVSs to my compass thing once I get that done. Something else to add along with everything else. Yeah. Paint the dongle red so you can't miss it when... Well, I do paint them with various colors, but I've got a few of them and it's still all too easy when the customer turns up that you just forget to do this stuff. Yeah, that's working really good now. Definitely need some cable tidying, and there is definitely a fault when it's at one of the quadrants, because once I turned the compass sensor around and put it back down, it behaved itself. So yeah, more development work to be done, but at least the prototype is working, which means now I no longer have this hanging off there, which means I've got a spare USB port, which means slightly less chance than Linux is going to crash and burn whenever I need to use it for something. Remove before flight tag. Yeah, see, that's more likely what would work. I can still guarantee you I'm probably going to lose one or two of them, but that would be more helpful. Let's see. Alright, time to put stuff back in the boxes. What is it? 20... Oh, we got half an hour. What are you guys? Varistas. Not barista, but varista. Shockety rectifiers. This is my mains stuff that I shouldn't play with box. These are the terminal blocks I was talking about I could have used. Oh, well obviously I can... Banana plugs, no problem, I'm allowed to use those. I really do not feel like I have truly sufficient qualifications to be messing too much with 240 volt stuff. Like, yeah, I'll do some basic stuff, but it does give me the heebie-jeebies. What the hell's this? Oh, is this one of mine? Wow, this is actually mine. Or is it? Yeah, it's mine. You gotta love it when you can't remember your own stuff. But yeah, like this project gave me hell because I was just so nervous about it. Making sure I read all the specification requirements or the gapping requirements, all sorts of stuff to make sure that I did things right. This is for my reflow oven controller. So I've got all my AVR stuff over here, which looks like it's using a tiny 48, so the old style. For the power supply, for that, I buy these self-contained regulating AC to DC bricks. So they look like a normal PCB mount transformer, but they have the rectification and regulating parts built in. So you just plonk it on there, you got AC on this side, 240 volts now, or 230 in our case, and then you have DC 5 volts on the other side. It's really simple. And obviously that's one of the triacs. That will be the opto triac that drives the main triac, which then switches the power to the oven controller. And then all this here goes off to the LCD panel. That's the programming header, and that there is the serial port and temperature sensors. So yeah, it's... I've even got it slotted and everything just to prevent arcing over. Maybe overkill, but like I said, when you're messing with stuff that you're not 100% sure about, better to be a little bit safer than sorry. So that's a perfectly good board, and like I said, I use it for my reflow oven and my drying oven. Okay, so that's packed up. Other things I got this week. God damn it, left that stuff out. Trying to optimize my workshop a little more. I ended up buying a whole stack of these. This is like, they're all just resistor strip type sleeves, but they're empty. And I'm just loading them up myself because this is really annoying trying to go through the bag every time. But if I create my own sleeve pages, and I'm just using decades there, and I'll probably be doing something more like that, like I'll have all the 2s, the 6s, the 8s and things like that. I don't know exactly, but when I'm in a hurry trying to fix a board or whatever and I'm looking for a particular value, it's easier for me to find them like this rather than having in a book. The reason why I don't buy a book is because I have been burned by books more than once, whereby the values that are in the strip are not the values that they say they are, and that's caused literal damage in the past, so I'm not using them anymore. Yeah, obviously that's my own fault because I probably bought cheap book. It was like one of those $20 ones from eBay, so I should have expected that. Probably if I spent $100 and got a book from Yago or something like that, or Panasonic, then I can trust it. But I'm not going to do that. Just putting all this stuff back where it belongs. Hey there, Kristen Iverson. David E. blog sells a nice compact diary folder. Yeah, just blank sleeves. Oh, okay. Well, basically what I've just got there I kind of prefer it not to be in the book. I like to just quickly slip through the sleeves. At least that's what I think in my mind. We'll see when it happens. It might get to the point where I find it very annoying. I'm not anticipating more than maybe 3 or 4 sleeves. Okay. Well, look, I'll be honest. I think I'm done. I'm going to spend the rest of the time going back redoing that logic board because obviously, I have to make some changes. I've got to work out how to do the compass module offset. I feel like it really does need to be elevated away from all the metal and the electrical stuff. So it might be a case of it just needs to be 3D printed and then have a little 4-wire cable connecting between them. $300 to $400 per book is about right, I would say, yeah. But I was just sort of thinking, you can sort of get the sort of cheap but still good ones compared to the $20 eBay ones. Like, that's why I'm saying, I shouldn't have been surprised that there were severe value issues with the $20 one. Perhaps shield the important parts. The only thing is I can't put any real shielding around the compass module because obviously it's relying on the Earth's magnetic field so it needs that. So if I shield it, I'll build, mess things up. Unless, of course, you're meaning shield the electronics on the board, in which case, you might have an idea there. But it might honestly be easier for me to 3D print a stalk that elevates just elevates the compass module out of the way. Let's see. Schematic. Right, $25 for the book. Yeah, that's essentially what I'm doing, but without the book. I see he's got the 2 different sizes as well, so that's good. For me, it's mostly the resistors. Particularly 201s and things like that. They're the ones that I'm always fishing around in that box looking for the right value. So I figure 3 or 4 sleeves and I should be good. Anyway, I am out of here. I'm going to go and do some more work. I'll probably catch up with, see what's his name? Doug? Joey. I don't know why I thought Doug, but yeah, I'll go see what Joey's doing. So, if you want to keep chatting, that's where I'll probably be. Alright, I'm out of here. You'll take care. Thanks for watching. And in a week, maybe 2 weeks, we should have the next board and we'll rebuild it, see if we can do better. Till then, you'll take care. I'll see you later.